Alright class, this assignment's going to be on analogous colors, the usage of analogous colors in painting. Like always, we're going to be painting in layers. So it's going to take multiple coats. You're going to work one area, then work another area, come back when it dries, add more paint to it so that we can get nice vivid color, we can get intensity of color. A lot of processes are not just one color and done. It's the layering of color to create intensity. Just like in drawing class, intro, I've always said to layer the colors, whether using colored pencils, watercolor, and now even paint. So analogous colors are really easy. It's colors that are closely related to each other in the color wheel. So we're going to choose your colors by looking at whatever it is, and you're going to paint according to those colors. So like yellow, yellow-green, green, those are analogous colors. Just adding a little bit of yellow to green, you're going to get a yellow-green that is a tertiary color. So the main focus on this assignment is doing a still life with painting with the application and usage of analogous colors. Have I said analogous enough? I don't think I have. I think I need to say it one more time, analogous. So enjoy the video. I'll give instruction. All right, bud. Let's get to work. Alright, now it's the second part. So we've got our base colors down, our orange and our yellow. I'm going to add more to the base coat by darkening up the yellow by using an ochre. Now the ochre was darkened, so I decided to lighten it by adding yellow into it. Again, I'm using my palette knife to mix. You're kind of churning it a little bit, spinning it around, going around in a little circle and mixing the color together. I'm still using the round brush. The round brush is one of my favorites. You can use whatever brush that you like. And I'm just dipping the tip of the brush in the paint. I'm not submerging my brush in the paint. Okay? And I am still painting. I'm going over basically the shadows because yellow is such a light color. I want to darken it up a little bit before I put the orange over top, so I can get a nice contrast and a darker shadow, mid-tone, and highlight. So you can see here I'm just going over the shadows using the tip of my brush, dissipating it out by, again, little bitty strokes with the brush to kind of pull that paint and blend it around. So this time I cleaned my brush since it's red and we're using the red straight out. I cleaned it right on the surface because we're going to start painting this red and making it look more red than orange. Now the camera looks a little hard. In real life, I could see the differences as I'm painting, but the camera didn't quite pick up those differences, probably because they were more analogous colors. It's a little harder to tell on the red pepper, but as you can see, it looks more like a red pepper now. There are some shadows, and I'm going over and darkening that red with more layers of paint where the shadows are, where I need to fix it up so that it can be a more intense red in real life. Again, notice that I'm not submerging my brush into my paint. I'm just dipping it in, kind of getting the little toe wet, and then applying that paint where I think I need to apply that paint. So you can see here that it definitely looks more like the red pepper now that was in the photo. And I'm just blending and using the red. Now I'm going to the orange. Now my mistake here was I put the red too close to the orange, and sometimes I dipped in the red, didn't realize until I started painting. But I got the orange. Lots of layering with the orange because the orange paint is very translucent. So I was working the paint a lot on the orange bell pepper. Lighter colors sometimes give you a harder time because you're trying to get a nice consistency with it. So I am taking from the yellow after I've painted and painting a layer over top to lighten it up. That is legal. You can go back to the previous color depending on what kind of effect that you want to use. But you can see here I'm still using the orange to get my shadows, and I'm using yellow basically where I would need to lighten it up and create a lighter orange through layering of the color, or I need to lighten it more up and make it appear more yellow like it is in the photograph. So again, I'm dissipating it. You see I put a bunch of orange down there with a dot, but I started moving the paint around to shade. Big thing with painting is that you're shading. And remember, like, some of you might that do this assignment wish that you could show off your line work. I'm showing you how to paint. Line work will come in as an additive later, but I want to get you to understand the concept of painting, because there is no line work in real life. Line work is basically our visual acuity seeing two planes coming together to one point. That's what line work basically is that you're drawing where two planes would basically intersect each other at a point. We are mainly concentrating on color to do the all the illustration, and not relying on any line work per se to make the illustration. We want to get the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights down, and then we can add the line work at another month, and that can help tighten up the painting, and that can help make it more intriguing or interesting or even stylized. This month, with all the projects that we're doing, especially this one, is to get you to understand how to paint. There's more than one way to get to the end result, but how you're going to get there, the choices that you need to make, and to experiment and get experience with different kinds of color theories and the application of painting. Enjoy!